Hey guys, for today's episode I'm going to be reviewing the Molekule Air Mini Purifier, seeing if it's worth the hype. It's been through a lot of controversy over the last couple of years, mainly due to the Wirecutter review, which showed it performing really poorly compared to other air purifiers. I'm going to be going through that Wirecutter review and using points made by the CEO in a recent interview and comparing their results in other air purification tests to see if it's worth the money and if some of the things that Wirecutter said might not have been as accurate as depicted in that video. I have no affiliation with this company's products or anything like that. I'm based here in the UK. It's very difficult to get hold of a Molekule. The only way you can do that is on Amazon.com, and you have to pay shipping and taxes. Basically, prices, this comes in at $399, which is, for an air filter, pretty pricey, especially considering one of the main caveats of this product is that you have to replace the air filters every 6 months. Now, most air filters on the market, you have to replace them every 2 years. In some cases, in the Austin Air, for example, 5 years, or maybe about 3 years for IQ Air. This you have to replace every 6 months, which makes it extremely expensive for anyone in the UK, because you have to pay tax and shipping costs on all the air filters you're bringing in, so that can really increase its costs. But it comes up with a lot of advantages, and I'm just going to be going through how the technology works. So traditional filters have a thick piece of fabric that pulls in air and then attempts to strain the particles from the air. Instead, the Molekule is coated with a special nanocatalyst. When the catalyst sees light from LEDs, it creates a chemical reaction that destroys molds, formaldehyde, bacteriovirus, and airborne chemicals, all getting broken down to their most basic form, like water, oxygen. So this is the first air purifier on the market that actually focuses on destroying the contaminants rather than just filtering them out. And this is pretty impressive. Technology has been around for 20 years. The Pico Technologies is patented on the company Molekule. So you're getting proprietary technology. I'd say the closest company to this product is Hyperallergenic Air, which use similar sort of UV light sort of technology. But yeah, it's got peer-reviewed studies backing it up. I've also posted a few studies on my blog showing how it does well with molds and other gases and contaminants. But what the Wirecutter review is obviously the main talking point. That review, I think, really hurt the brand. At that point, before the review, they were being endorsed by a lot of companies, but a lot of famous biohackers like Dave Asprey, the Lifestylist podcast, everything about it, all went sponsorship from Molekule, and those guys decided to stop having Molekule as a sponsor. So I think that really damaged the brand a bit. They got a lot of hate on social media for being a scam company, and the CEO went on a number of podcasts and did a lot of interviews trying to explain the inaccuracies behind the Wirecutter interview. Again, I don't have a stake in Molekule, I don't really personally care what comes about it, but her criticism was that Wirecutter didn't have the sophistication to test the Molekule technology, forgot about a lot of the puritans and things that and contaminants that the Molekule can get rid of weren't tested in the Wirecutter test. The testing methodology wasn't living up to scientific standards and was ignorant of vast swathes of pollutants in the air. So the main benefit of the Molekule is that it filters out substances that other air purifiers don't. And in the Wirecutter review, they weren't testing for those contaminants. The Wirecutter review was a speed test, which wasn't a true reflection of Molekule's ability. There's an industry level that gauges the comparative differences on a scale of clean air to delivery rate test. Those tests come at about $5,000 per test, which Wirecutter weren't able to get. So her viewpoint is that it wasn't a realistic test because traditional filters that catch pollutants, these pollutants can go out back into the air, and because the Molekule is trying to destroy pollutants, it's going to take a lot longer for it to destroy the air contaminants. So in a speed test, which Wirecutter did, it wasn't a fair representation of how Molekule's technology works. So it's going to take a lot longer to absorb those contaminants and to get rid of them because it's destroying them. Whereas conventional products are not designed to do that, they just absorb them. So they're capable of working at a lot faster rate than Molekule. But Molekule has the benefits of actually destroying it, whereas conventional HEPA filters, they just keep all the contaminants in the filter. So yeah, the hybrid filter, it has a pre-filter that captures large filtrants, then a PECA filter with a painting technology that uses light to break down the molecular structure of those contaminants. And then there's an app as well, which will show you when your filter needs replacing, and you can then order new filters through the app if you're American based. Then also it has 5 fan speeds, which I'll be showing today, and it comes with a 2-year warranty, which is basically industry standard, but less than the Austin Air and the IQ Air. But yeah, I'll be showing you how it sounds. So I found that on the light speeds, an advantage of this is that it's not that loud, but then on the loudest, obviously the stronger settings, the 5, it's extremely loud to the point where I can't sleep next to this. But yeah, so it's quite loud, but on the first speed it's not that loud. But altogether, Modern Castle, an American-based company, they did a test of Molekule in terms of air quality improvement after 1 hour, and it showed that the particulates decreased from 329 to 49, and the AQI from 16 to 0, and the PM10 particles went from 5.9 to 0.9, and the PM2.5 changed from 3.9 to 0.6. So it does the job based on the testing from other companies. And I think that it probably doesn't deserve all the criticism it has got. And it's still endorsed by a lot of famous biohackers like Todd Shipman and Ben Greenfield, still use Molekules. And you know, it's impressive that they can destroy molds. I mean, you know, mold is becoming an increasingly problematic issue, and it's being more found out upon in mainstream media. So it's great for those who have difficulties with mold and mycotoxins and stuff like that. The Molekule is a fantastic product to use. Some good thing about it is it's easy to transport. So you know, we have this handle here, which makes it easier to use in, say, hotel rooms. Still not as easy as brands like Hypoallergenic Air, which has the Germ Defender, which is really easy to use to transport. This is still a bit heavier than that. It's still heavier than actually the Boomerang, which is the flagship model of Hypoallergenic Air. So it is light, but there are others out there that cover a lot more ground. So you have the Boomerang, for example. Hypoallergenic Air can cover 2,500 square meters. This can cover about 200 square meters, 250 square meters, so about the size of the bedroom. The other bit advantages are that it's beautiful and sleek looking. Of course, when you're dealing with mold and pollutants, it's not a beauty contest. You just want the product to do its job, but it is a very beautiful product. They've spent a lot of money on the design, which means that, you know, for those of you who are working in, say, an art gallery, for example, or on a sales floor, you can have this air filter there, or a party, for example. It's a really good, beautiful filter to have in the background, and yeah, I love this design. It's really nice. It looks like a conventional Apple product, but that shouldn't be the most important thing of any air filter. But yeah, it came with very little non-sustainable packaging. Came packed in recycled cardboard with little plastic. The PECA technology, again, you're getting a proprietary technology. A lot of people on the mold support groups on Facebook have said that this has been a fantastic product for them with dealing with allergies to mold spores. Again, with EMF rate levels rising due to 5G, mold is becoming more and more of an issue. So yeah, this is a great product to have in, especially when you're traveling in hotel rooms where you don't know how the air quality is going to be. You don't know if there's underlying mold issues, you don't have the time to check when you're checking in a hotel room. This is a fantastic product to have with you. And I really noticed an improvement in air quality personally when I was sleeping with this product. I usually combine this with IQ Air, so I get the strong filtration of the IQ Air, and I get the killing of the mold spores from the Molekule. The disadvantages are that air filters need to be replaced every 6 months. That is a very annoying factor of this product, and it's just worse than every other product in that regard. Most other conventional products need to be replaced every 1 to 5 years. This is every 6 months, which is going to add up over time for a lot of people, and might price out a lot of people when you look at the long-term costs. It is very expensive in the high price range, especially when you look at the Molekule air filter, which is about $1,000. The main one is about $1,200. That is expensive for an air filter. This is $399 is pricey. You can buy for that amount 2 germ defenders from hypoallergenic air. So it's literally like twice the price of a lot of its competitors. The one thing I hate about it the most is the LED light. It's very annoying that it's blue light, emitting a lot of blue light. It's just, at this stage, a lot of biohackers want something they can sleep next to. When you have those blue lights on at night, it's just not good to have blue light on conventionally, because even if blue light hits your skin, even if you're wearing red light blocking glasses, it can still interfere with your sleep. I like sleeping in a pitch black room all the time, and this is just too bright. I know the light has to be there because it works and it's part of the Pico technology. But again, it would have been nice if they used, say, a red light or something that blue light, free light, that won't keep you up at night. The technology hasn't really improved at that level as of yet. But yeah, the sensors are a little bit loud, on the loud side. Another problem is the EMF. The wireless technology is just not really. It's great for some people, but for the people in the biohacking community who look for low EMF products, this is pretty annoying. I don't want wireless technology, I don't want sensors or anything like that. I just want something that can filter the mold and filter the air. So, I think the app is just a bit of a waste. It's good that you can figure out when to replace the filter, but overall it does mean that when you pick it up with wireless technology, the EMFs are going to be higher compared to other air filters that don't use this technology, like for example the Austin Air. But yeah, in conclusions, I think the Wirecard review was a little bit harsh. It was sort of a clickbaity review, and I don't blame Wirecard. They need to get hits at the end of the day. But all in all, it's a nice, sleek little product. I mean, I usually travel to a lot of areas where mold's a problem. I spend a lot of time in Southeast Asia and in the Middle East, so in those countries with very humid weather, I love to have something that can protect me from those mold spores, and I see the Molekule as being one of those things. If you have the money, it is worth trying it, but I think there are other air purifiers like the Austin Air, like the Air Doctor, like the IQ Air, which costs a lot less in the long run to run. But if you have a lot of disposable income, you're working from home, and you have problems with mold, it's worth stocking up. But again, if you have real mold issues in the environment, it's best to get rid of the mold rather than rely on air filters, because no air filter is going to protect you 100% from mold. But yeah, I posted all the studies on the Pico technology, on the Molekules tests with the mold spores, and yeah, there's plenty of stuff for you to view on my blog that supports this technology. Thank you for watching. See you next time.